I bought every science gadget on Amazon, but these aren't just normal gadgets. They're the most futuristic, weird, and crazy inventions ever made. And the items just get more and more strange. So let's start with this 3D holographic fan.
This looks like it's science fiction, but in reality, it's a gadget exploiting your persistence of vision. This is actually a fan that flashes lights while it's spinning, but it's so fast your eyes can't keep up. So your brain stitches the flashes into a smooth, floating image like a hologram. But this is just the first of many science gadgets that feel impossible, and each one messes with your brain in a different way. This is the anti-gravity machine. Look at these water droplets. They're flowing upwards. How are you able to buy an anti-gravity machine from Amazon? Well, it's actually just a trick using ultrasonic waves and flickering lights. Because this is what the water looks like when those features are turned off. So the ultrasonic waves turn the constant stream of water into water droplets. You can see if I try to mimic the ultrasonic waves by shaking it, it kind of breaks up the water.
You can also add paint to make it look like alien goo. But I had a little too much fun swishing water around. Good thing one of our later gadgets is a robot cleaning assistant.
And the flickering lights are timed perfectly to make the water look still. On camera, it looks like the lights are slowly pulsating, but in real life, the lights are actually flickering thousands of times per minute. This is a perfect example of how science, when used correctly, is the closest thing we have to real magic.
And this is just the start. The products in this video are gonna get crazier, like this metal you can eat, and even a real levitation device. But up next is...
This is just a normal piece of string, but this gadget can make it defy physics. Oh, and I can even touch it, and it still floats in the air. I can bend it in all different angles. It looks like it's floating in the air. This gadget is called the zip string. It makes the string float using centripetal force. Inside, the two motors shoot out the string really fast, but it also pulls it back at the same speed. So the tension is what's keeping the string suspended in the air. As long as the motors keep spinning, the string keeps floating. How long can you keep it up? This might look like a normal brush, but it can change colors and leaves no stains. As we take the brush and hover it over each paint, we can see the color on the brush change. First, let's dip the tip into some Hafu Go Red. As you can see, the brush itself is completely white. There's no colors on it. But as we stroke, we can see the colors come to life. It's almost a very magical effect because you can see the colors fade in. The way the colors fade in almost looks fake. We can try some other colors. But how does this work? The brush uses clear paint made with leuco dyes, a special compound that stays colorless until a chemical reaction. The trick is in the paper. This color wonder paper is made with zinc ion, and your painting only comes to life on this special piece of paper. Look, I drew a portrait of you. Let's move on to the next gadget. This is a chewable piece of metal. It's called indium. It's very soft and you can bend it with your bare hands. It's soft and bendable because the metal atoms are bonded very loosely, meaning there's a lot of room to wiggle around. While most elements are dangerous to eat, indium has low toxicity and doesn't dissolve easily in your mouth. So that means it should just taste like a stale piece of gum. Let's go for another bite. The texture is similar to chewing beef jerky, and there's almost no flavor. But because it's metal, I feel a cold sensation when it's in my mouth. While it's safe to chew, definitely don't swallow this. This is a one time that spitters aren't quitters. And don't quit on the video yet, because things are about to get sticky. This tray makes your drink unspillable. Oh no! That was a skill issue, not the tray. Let's get our lab assistant to come and clean this up. Let's go! Yeah! It's all AI. I don't even have to do any work. So how does it work? When you swing, the centripetal force keeps the cups pressed against the tray, so the cups won't fall off and the water stays in place. Now let's try a full swing. Ah, not bad! Now let's try running. That worked pretty well, but can it survive a speed bump? This tray is actually unspillable. Our next gadget is this AI-powered robot vacuum. It sucks,
but in the best way possible. So you've seen this lab assistant throughout the video, but now we're actually gonna put it to the test because the company Narwhal says it's one of the smartest and most powerful robot vacuums you can buy, powered by its dual AI chips. So now we're gonna put its brains to the test with this obstacle course that we designed. Let's begin. And we're off! Immediately, we have a wire in its way. It recognizes the wire and it's mopping around it. Oh my god, it avoided that perfectly. Okay, right now it's mapping out the course. It's trying to think, all right, what's the best way to pick up all these different type of debris? Now it's using the vacuum feature because it sees that it's dry debris. It doesn't want to mop that. Oh, it's so smart. Oh my god, look at that. It nearly missed the pin. The Narwhal Frio Z Ultra has 2 camera eyes on the front that can see and avoid obstacles in real time. That's why the pin is still standing. All right, now it's beginning to mop. Oh, it sees the ketchup and mustard is mopping and it's able to avoid the chair. It went underneath the chair and through. The robot doesn't care the order it does its task because it uses AI to calculate what's the best way to do this. Let's see what happens if we just drop something onto its path. Boom. Oh, it adjusted in real time. Just like how a Tesla is able to see and avoid cars coming onto the road suddenly, the Frio Z Ultra is able to avoid obstacles in real time. This robot is blowing my mind. It's the smartest thing I've ever seen. So right now the robot senses it's full, so that's why it went back to the home base for a self-clean. It's able to fill it back with clean water and detergent for it to continue its job. Oh, it's going again. The cool thing about the home base is that it's able to clean the mop with hot water. So every time you're getting a clean mop. Oh, look at that. It's gotten rid of most of the paint here. That's incredible. I swear some of this paint is dried already. And now it's going back home. Oh my gosh. There was a green paint check mark here. Now there's no residue at all. Honestly, the floor looks so clean, you could probably lick it. No taste at all. If you want to get one of these Narwhal vacuum cleaning robots, click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen with your phone's camera. Thanks to Narwhal for sponsoring this video. This ball defies gravity and falls in slow motion. The ball itself is really heavy, but the moment I put my balls through the tube, it slows down. So how does it work? Well, this ball is actually a magnet, and when it falls through the metal tube, it creates electric currents, and these currents push against the ball, slowing it down. There are a lot of tricks you can do with this gadget. The first is, if you add another tube, the ball can fall forever. If I'm good at anything, it's getting it in the hole. And if you stack both tubes together, the ball can fall twice as slow. Look at that. And the last trick you can do is if you put the ball in the middle of these 2 tubes and start jerking it, it's actually never gonna fall out. Look at that. No matter how you jerk, it just stays in there. Now that's science. This disc spins forever. It's called the Euler's disc. But what keeps it going? The spinning heavy disc gives it strong angular momentum. That's what's preventing it from stopping. Combine that with a slightly concave mirror, which reduces friction and keeps the spinning motion going. Now, the spin almost lasts forever. I wish I could last forever. But the coolest part is the sound. As it loses energy, the wobble speeds up and the pitch gets higher and higher, because the disc is tapping the mirror more rapidly until it finally stops. These rocks are millions of years old and they're hiding a secret inside. They're called geodes and they came from this National Geographic kit. These seemingly regular rocks actually contain real crystals inside, and all we have to do is break them open. So let's go from the smallest to the biggest. There are a whole bunch of possible crystals we can get, and if we get the amethyst, we actually make our money back. Oh my god! That just exploded all over me. We can see inside we got these white crystals. That one was worthless. That's the most common one. We gotta break open more.
Ooh, this one's cool. It's got 2 colors. It's got pink and blue. So we did get a small piece of amethyst crystal, but it's only a tiny piece. So I don't think we made our money back yet. We just gotta keep going. So the kit costs $40. We'll see if we can turn a profit. This looks like another quartz. Worthless. This rock I can't even crack. So $0. This is legitimately a solid rock. Now we're moving on to the medium-sized pieces. Ooh, that was easy. What the heck is this? It looks like Tic Tacs. This is another nodule of quartz, worthless. All right, we're getting into the bigger stones now. It's time to bring out some protection. It's a little too big for me now. This is quartz crystal, worthless. Ooh, this is another quartz geode. This rock is our last hope. Let's see what's inside. Hopefully it's amethyst. Oh! It's another quartz. This kit cost $40 and in total we made. So we actually made profit.
But it made our floors a complete mess. Good thing the robot assistant can clean it up.
Let's break into the next gadget. This is an infinity mirror. When you look inside, it's like you're looking into the dark abyss. The hole looks like it goes on forever. Almost makes me want to jump in. This is like staring into a black hole. So how does it work? Well, let's open the Pandora's box and see what's inside. Absolutely nothing. All that's inside is LED lights, a regular mirror, and a one-way mirror at the top. The one-way mirror allows you to see inside, but the reflections bounce back and forth, creating that illusion of infinite depth. This simple science gadget is mind-blowing, but what's coming next is even crazier. What you're seeing right now is not special effects. Instead, it's a scientific magic trick. This is called the Luber's lens. It uses refraction to make what's behind it invisible. You see this coin? Invisible. The military actually uses the same technology to create an invisibility shield to hide all their weapons. This lens has tiny grooves that bend the light sideways, away from the center. So that means you can't see what's directly behind it, only the reflections on the side. My dad told me he went out to get the milk, but maybe he just bought one of these instead. This slime is alive. It's called the thinking putty because it's got a brain of its own. Here's what it looks like when you get it from Amazon. It looks like regular silly putty, but it's black and it sparkles. You can bounce it, stretch it, and mold it. Look at that. Right now it's very flaccid, and no matter what you do, it won't get up. But remember how I said this is sparkly? That's because it's infused with millions of metal fragments. So that means it's magnetic. This is a super strong neodymium magnet. And when we put it close, it should start moving. And if you just scrunch it up, put it beside the magnet, the putty becomes a monster and starts swallowing the magnet. This is a great gadget because there are infinite ways you can play with this. I'll leave a link to this and some of my favorite gadgets in the description below. Moving on to the next gadget. This liquid is a real-life venom. It's called ferrofluid, and it was developed by NASA to control rocket fuel in zero gravity. It's filled with tiny particles that react around magnets. And here we have ferrofluid trapped in this speaker. The device has a hidden electromagnet that reacts to the sound picked up by the microphone on the back. And if I make a constant noise, it floats. Let's play some banger copyright-free music. Oh, look at it jump. This is honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I'll leave a link to it in the description. And we have even more insane science gadgets coming up next. This is a real-life hoverball. Once we turn it on, it starts floating on any flat surface. So inside this ball is a small fan that blows air downwards. This creates an air cushion between the ball and the ground, just enough to reduce friction, allowing you to glide across flat surfaces. Now we're gonna put this ball to a real test against my employee, Martin. Yeah. Martin, are you ready?
I'm ready.
First person to score 3 goals wins. And if you lose, you get fired.
Oh, wow.
1, 2, 3, go.
That was not actual.
Oh! First goal! 2 more. What the heck is this? What kind of strategy is that? Shit!
I'm gonna kill myself now. This is actually pretty hard.
Oh no! No! Alright, guys, that will be the last time you'll see Martin on this channel, but we can move on to the next gadget. This toy defies gravity. As we can see, the ramp is going down, but if we put the cone at the bottom, it rolls upward. And just to prove to you there's no trickery involved, as you can see, it's completely flat. If we put a normal cup at the top, it rolls downwards. Bring back the cone. How's it rolling up? It seems impossible until you understand the science behind it. The trick is in this object's center of mass. So on a slanted ramp, the center of mass will always fall down due to gravity. So take this cup for example, the center of mass is in the middle here. So to show you the center of mass is going down, the string is gonna make a straight line right there. As you can see, the center of mass ended below the string, which means it's going downwards. For this cone, the center of mass is on this little nipple. If we do the same test with the cone, as you can see, as the cone rolls upward, the center of mass is actually going down. And that's due to the shape of the cone combined with the expanding shape of the ramp. Now let's roll on to the next gadget. This is the world's strongest glass. It's called the Prince Rupert's Drop, and it's made by dropping molten glass into cold water. That rapid cooling locks in the outer shell into a state of constant compression, making it solid and nearly unbreakable. But can it really survive anything? Let's put it to the test with fire. It's hammer time. This tip is so hard. How about an obsidian blade, the world's sharpest stone? There's a scratch, but it's not broken. Finally, let's test some pliers. Safety first. First, we'll pinch the head. Yep, that head is hard. Yep. I'm putting all my force into this and it's still not breaking. But this unbreakable glass has a weak point, which is a tiny thin tail over here. So if I pinch the tail, all the internal tension will release and the whole thing will explode. It just exploded all over me. These are the tiny shards from the glass. It almost looks like diamonds. This here is a permanent magnet that you can switch on and off. So right now it's on and you can stick it to the MagSafe on the back of your phone or even sticking to another magnet. But if you twist this big black knob to the off position, the magnet will be switched off. Look at that. It would be impossible to switch off a normal magnet because it's always turned on. So how is this possible then? Inside the magnet switch are multiple magnets. When you turn the knob to the on position, the magnets align with the steel base, creating a strong magnetic field. But when you switch it to the off position, the magnets spin out of alignment, breaking the magnetic circuit. I wish I had a chick magnet just like this one. Turning on the Riz is this simple. At first glance, you might think this is a perpetual motion machine. It's called the drinking bird, and bro's always thirsty. Now watch the liquid inside rise. The bird starts to rock until eventually he goes in for a drink. The action repeats forever as long as there's water. But to understand how it works, we must first take off its head. Inside the bird's body is a secret fluid, methylene chloride. It has a super low boiling point, so even a small temperature difference triggers a reaction. When the head gets wet, it cools down, so the vapors inside condense, dropping the pressures inside the head, which sucks up the liquid from the bottom to the top, until the bird dips, drinks, re-wets the head, and the cycle repeats again. Moving on to our next gadget. This ball is floating. There's nothing attached at the top and nothing attached at the bottom. It's floating using the power of science. So how does it work? This book is not a regular book. It's actually a hidden electromagnet. And this ball is actually a magnet. So right now, the two magnets are perfectly repelling each other. But as soon as I turn off the book, the ball immediately falls. And the cool thing is you can balance any magnetic object on top of the book. It's just hard to find the right spot. I mean, you think you got it, but she's just not getting there. It's a tiny spot where it feels just right. Oh, the globe is now perfectly floating. Nothing at the bottom, nothing at the top. And because it's an electromagnet, we can even wirelessly conduct electricity. This piece will shock anyone that's coming over to your house. These gadgets today were crazy. But if you want to see even cooler gadgets, click the video on screen now. Or watch a video that YouTube thinks you'll love.